Now pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at Hampton, Trenton Boykin. Good afternoon, Trenton.
Good afternoon.
Congratulations to you and your guys. The Battle of the Bay Trophy stays at Hampton, 41-34 over Norfolk State. What did you like about the way your guys played?
They stayed together. We go down and go up 3-0, and then boom, just like that, they're up 14-3, and our guys didn't panic. Everybody stayed calm, and we just kind of refocused and regrouped, and was able to put 24 points up, and go in with a 27-21 halftime lead, and just good to see our guys play with a lot of passion Saturday, and to see all three phases really come together was great to see.
Let's start with the offensive side of the ball. 438 yards, which is an impressive number, but maybe more impressively, you got 236 on the ground, you got 202 through the air. What were you able to do so well and to be so balanced?
Again, just what our O line was able to do up front, to be able to move some guys off the ball, and gives us a chance to play in front of the chains. We went back and looked, and we were probably I think we were 70 something percent of what we want to be on first down. We were a lot of 2nd and 5s, and 2nd and 6, and 2nd and 4s, and when you're in that position to be in a lot of 2nd downs and 5s, your playbook really can stay wide open. And so that was the thing that we stressed, that we had to play in front of the chains. And too many times over this year, we were, 2nd and 9 and 2nd and 8, and you kind of put yourself in a tough situation. But when you can play, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, you leave your playbook open, and we were able to be able to capitalize on kind of doing what we wanted to do on 2nd downs.
Braden Davis got the start again at quarterback and really had a nice afternoon, 202 yards and a touchdown through the air, 64 yards and a touchdown rushing. How have you seen him continue to grow and get better over these last few weeks?
Just repetition, him getting a lot of the reps during practice, and what he needs to see during practice, and then just translate over on the Saturday. And so him knowing what his strengths are, and just seeing him grow is just great to see, and really him getting the chance to really just make this offense his.
Your running game was effective without Snipes. Again, you've kind of gone to the tailback by committee, and it really seems to be paying off. Grayson Goldsmith, 75 yards. Keith Chavis with 64. Marshawn Ferguson with a rushing touchdown. How do those guys complement each other, and how much do you enjoy being able to put different types of backs out there?
Well, it was great. You still have Donovan Shepard. He was back from being out for a couple weeks, and so to have Shep, to have Chavis, and Goldsmith, these guys are solid backs. Even though those two are freshmen, we knew that they were special coming in. And you're starting to see, the more they start to play, the more you start to see how talented they were, coming out of high school. They're both big, strong young men, and they already look like they're juniors in college. So they just ran hard, ran well. And then a lot of credit to our old line up front of just giving them a chance to get to the second level without being touched, and then being able to do some things with Marshawn and other guys, and jet sweeps and things like that. And so it's just good to see us really being balanced, because again, you have to play the whole width and length of the football field.
In a back and forth game like that one was, how big for your offense to be able to kill off that final 402?
Big, that's something that, you go all the way back to the A&T game, and we had a chance to do the same thing, and we didn't. And that's something that's been stressed. We knew there was going to be an opportunity to do it again. And, that's what we talked about since then. And when the opportunity came Saturday, we did not want to put our defense back on the field, and our offense and our coaching staff did a great job with that.
On the defensive side of the ball, I'm sure maybe a few more points allowed than you'd like, but a big day from one of your freshmen, Andre Jackson Jr., who hadn't played a whole lot, but certainly stepped up, 12 tackles and a sack. Just talk about the afternoon that he was able to have and the contribution he was able to make.
Oh man, and he's played a lot in our sub packages, all season long. He's gotten a lot of reps. He may not have started, but he's played a lot of football for us, and just a smart young man who just knows the game, the football, understands where he needs to be and the surroundings around him. And again, just another one of those freshmen that we recruited that we really were excited about, and you can see those guys really starting to gel and really season as the season goes on.
Defensively, obviously Norfolk State had a lot of weapons. What made them so difficult to handle?
Like you said, a lot of different formations. They had different guys, 13 and 5. They can put them in the backfield. They can put them in the slot. They can put them out wide. And, the quarterback is talented enough to run if you give him a lane. And, so they did some things that, it's just tough. You got to kind of bend, don't break. And our guys kind of had to do that Saturday.
How much we talked about it before the game last Monday, but how much did it mean to win that Battle of the Bay Trophy, especially to do it at home?
Well, of course, that game is big. Everybody in the community understands what that game meant. Just the Battle of the Bay, and then you add, Coach Vic over there to that. It just makes it even bigger. And so, the atmosphere was outstanding. It was fun to be a part of that. And again, just our guys understanding, this is something special. And again, that's like I said, there's two games that we circle that are very, very important to this university and to this community, and that's one of them. And to be able to say that you won that one, it's for us, but it's also for all the alumni and the university and everybody who's been a part of this for over 69 years. Gives them the opportunity to brag for the next 364 days, and we're happy for them. But like we talked about our guys yesterday, let's not drink this Kool-Aid. This win was great, and it's great for the alumni and the university. But we got another big one this Saturday with Campbell.
Let's talk about that one back at home, but back in conference play too against Campbell. As you started to kind of dive into them a little bit, what are some of the challenges they present for you?
Offensively, they have two quarterbacks. Sometimes they're both on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
They got three solid running backs. Again, when you look at their stats, it looks like they're more of a passing team, but all five of those guys can run the football. The three running backs and both quarterbacks, they have the ability to run. They do a great job of kind of a check with me system and to get their guys in the right play. And so, you can't fall for eye candy. You have to be disciplined and on defense of where your eyes are supposed to be at. Defensively, the one thing, I'm still watching film, but the one thing you see is they fly to the football. Guys are running to the football all over the place. They're big up front. And so we have to be ready for that. And then special teams, it's a well-coached special teams. You can see it when you watch film. They have great schemes in all their phases. And so, again, our hands are going to be full of preparing for them and, knowing that they've had a tough schedule, and they're ready to kind of get back on track. And so, we're going to definitely get their best effort and we've got to do our part to make sure that we take care of, the things that we need to take care of to protect our home.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for your time here this afternoon, and